Hey guys, my name is Joe. Today I will be sharing a topic about process versus outcome, and I think this is a really important topic in sales. Of course, a lot of people that end up succeeding in sales and marketing are typically very driven, ambitious, and hungry individuals. Okay, and that's great. You know, that's the kind of the characteristics that you're looking for, and that's the characteristics that you would like to have yourself. When I train people, I see sometimes what happens is we end up focusing far too much of our energy on the actual outcome itself, rather than the process that will actually get you there. And I think this is very important to remember. I actually, recently started cooking myself, and one of the things that I noticed was when I was inviting friends and family over for dinner, I was spending far too much time worrying about what the end result was going to be, how the food was going to taste, and I was almost putting a lot of pressure. I really want to do well, I really want the food to be good, and I realized that my thoughts on the outcome was not actually going to make the food taste good. I realized that there is a process in me cooking that is going to determine how the food will end up, being. And understanding that is really important. That there's little steps along the way, both in sales and in anything else that you do, that is actually going to give you the outcome. So I'm breaking it down into a couple of top tips that I would like to share. The first one is really breaking down the process. Okay, so understanding that if I wanna hit a goal in a month or in a 6 months period, it's always good to keep the goal in mind, but really understanding the small things that I will need to do along the way in order for me to get there is really, really important. The second thing is the things that is, what is the process? And in our business, the process is pretty straightforward, it's pretty simple. What is my attitude like? When I approach every single day, when I wake up in the morning, how do I feel? How am I talking to myself? What is my perception? When I go out in the field, when I represent our clients, what is my mentality like? How does other people, perceive me as well? What is the energy that I'm sending out? My attitude is a very, very important part, in the sales. The other thing is work ethic, and for me, this is I love the fact that in sales and marketing, you can kind of control your income, and you can control your outcome by the effort that you put in. Sales to me is a very fair industry. If I put in a lot of effort into something, I'm going to get a lot out of it. If I don't put in that much effort, I'm not really going to get that much back in return. And to me, that makes perfect sense. So the work ethic is something that I really can control. And the interesting thing about work ethic too is that it doesn't actually require experience. You don't need to have done this for 6 months, 2 years, 5 years in order for you to put effort in. That's something that's a decision that you actually can make every single day yourself. Okay, and the next thing is the skill set, and understanding that skill set is something that will grow in time and something that you will develop a lot of the times through practice and almost through sort of trial and error. Now these are the things that I can control, and I know that if my attitude is where it needs to be, my work ethic is high, and I continue to grow and I continue to develop my skill set, I know that the outcome is going to be good. And I would say that that's probably right 95% of the time. The other 5% is probably things that happens that is out of my control, and in that case I don't really tend to worry about it anyway. I come back and repeat the process over and over again. Okay. Lastly, keeping the goal in mind, you got to understand that when you're working for something that is worth having or something that is worth achieving, it's not going to come easy. There's going to be challenges, there's going to be some ups, there's going to be some downs along the way. And of course, sometimes, and those are the times, typically the downs, when you really forget your goals and you stop focusing on your goals, so you're kind of giving up on your goals. So you got to keep your goals in mind whilst continuing to put the effort in and doing the small things right, and don't take your foot off the gas. Hopefully if this works for me, it should work for you as well. Thanks for listening.